Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this exciting parallel session of the National Conference on Classroom-Based Assessment NCCBA 2023. I'm your MC for today. I'm Miss Martina Bong, and I'm thrilled to guide you through the next 40 minutes of knowledge sharing and discussion. So without further ado, let's get started by introducing our esteemed speaker for this session. Uh, His name is Dr. Ahmad Zufri bin Abdurrahman, and his topic for today is Approaching Testing and Evaluation, a deconstructive perspective on reading comprehension. So we are fortunate to have him with us today to share this topic. So Dr. Zufri, the stage is yours.
Microphone. I'm so sorry. Alright, okay. I'm Zufri. I'm from Majlis Peperiksaan Malaysia. I was a teacher for 5 years and then I was promoted to MPM for now. I've been working with MPM for 30 years. So overall 18 years. Nampak muda kan? Terima kasih. All right. So the topic seems so sophisticated. Actually, this is a knowledge sharing of how we at MPM level design instruments, especially reading questions with regard to reading skill. Right now, what can you say about this picture? What can you infer? Okay, we have a monkey, a bird, a penguin, an elephant, a fish, and then apa tu? Seal and a dog. So for a fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. Let's climb that tree. So who will win this? Who will score in this exam of climbing tree? Monkey. But is it fair to the elephant? To the elephant, it is not fair, right? The same goes to our instruments. Instruments mean the tool for us to measure students' abilities, right? So my key points, okay, today the introduction, the examples of instruments, and I will focus on cognitive validity. The name sounds so sophisticated, right? Tapi sebenarnya benda tu senang je. Alright, cognitive validity, types of it, which focuses on types of reading, processing, and also actually have one more, reading material, the text that you are going to use in the classroom, and hands-on activity on the cipher aligned instrument. Now, let us straight away to the introduction. Okay, in terms of language testing, instruments refers to a tool or method, like I have mentioned earlier, to assess a person's language proficiency. It's designed to measure various aspects of language, such as listening, speaking, reading, and also writing. But my focus today is on reading. Okay. Now, these are some examples of instruments. Standardized test, oral proficiency review, rubrics, observation. Okay, standardized test, as you can see there, the definition, structured tasks with predetermined formats and scoring criteria. For example, IELTS, TOEFL, and also WEN. These three tests are multi-level tests, meaning to say it covers from CFR A2 up to from WEN C1 plus. Okay, but for the other two, yes, they cover it, right? So for oral proficiency interviews, as you know, okay, to evaluate speaking ability, okay, rubrics, okay, scoring guides, especially for writing and speaking. We use assessment criteria. And observations, classroom observation is also a type of instrument. Okay. So my focus today is reading instrument for classroom-based assessment. Before we delve further into this, we have to understand, okay, the CFR level of each student in our classroom. Or else we will give them a reading test, a reading material, a reading text type that is higher than the correct level of student proficiency in the classroom. And then we say that they cannot reach the TP, the one that we have to get targeted earlier. Actually, our instrument, kita guna pembaris yang salah, right, to ukur that candidate. Okay, so my focus today is on cognitive validity of the instrument. What does it mean by cognitive validity? Okay, in order for us to have a good instrument, Okay, we have to first consider this thing, cognitive validity, meaning the mental processes readers actually use in comprehending the text that we are using in the classroom. Okay. In other words, we create a test to measure someone's reading ability. We want the test to be a good representation of how the student's mind works. Okay. We have to ensure that we have the first thing first, cognitive validity. Actually, there are so many validities, cognitive, context validities, all of sort of in reading instrument to develop a good instrument in reading. Okay. But my focus today, and our focus today is cognitive validity. All right. What are the features of cognitive validity? There are three items here. The first one will be types of reading. Second one, the cognitive processing, and then the third one will be text complexity. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay, this is not a presentation. You may interrupt me. Okay. This is session sharing. Yeah. Okay, this is a golden practice. If you wonder where it comes from, this is from Cambridge ESOL main suite. Meaning to say all the papers, and then we have to look at the literature review from FRA to up to C1. Actually up to C2, but the focus here is only C1 because our system currently yes, requires the highest would be C1. So you can take this as your picture, okay? So types of reading. There are four types of reading across all the CFR levels. Kira UPSR ke, although we don't have any UPSR anymore. Okay. Um, Early secondary school years ke, okay. It involves all these four types of reading. So in order for you to understand what are you going to do in the classroom, which is the correct instrument to be used, you have to understand all of these types of reading first before you can give them the right material to assess their reading abilities. Okay, the first one will be careful reading local. This one important. Local, global, both are terms that interchangeably used in CIFR, in the CFR. All right, okay. I'm sorry, I'm supposed not to say that. Okay, local means in one paragraph, one content, one sentence, one clause, one paragraph even. If global, between paragraphs, in simpler words. All right. So the first one, as you can see, understanding propositional meaning at clause sentence level. Meaning to say, propositional meaning here is you want to understand what the text is about rather than how the text is about. In simpler words. All right. So as you can see, careful reading locals usually is targeted for CFR A2 and B1 students. That's why sometimes when we look at our reading tests, it is not seems not like functioning because probably we have used expeditious reading global to assess our B1 candidate, our candidate students, right? So this careful reading local is actually for A2 to B1 level of students. All right. So careful reading global between paragraph. Okay, a broader focus, the entire text. Ada tiga. Comprehend across sentences, comprehend overall text, one text, comprehend overall text. Meaning to say, try to comprehend one or two texts. Given two texts of the same theme, for example, okay, then it is used in main suite, Cambridge main suite papers from A2 up to C1 level students to assess their proficiency. This one across all the levels, correct? Okay. So expeditious reading local. A2, we do not have that, as you can see. No, sorry. Cross sentences, yes, it covers all the level. Okay. Overall text, A2 and B1, we do not have that cognitive processing yet. Okay. So we only have it at B2 and C1, meaning to say B2 is at post-secondary level, Form 5, Form 6, right? And then C1, university level, comprehend overall text. None. of it. Okay, in the literature review shows none of them. All right. Expeditious reading local. What does it mean by expeditious? Meaning to say it involves skimming, scanning, and search. I believe you guys okay understand what does it mean by scanning, apa nama skim, and also search reading. Okay, so it only starts at CFR B1 until C1 level. A2 we do not have scanning or search reading for local one for paragraph in the sentence level, and then for expeditious reading global the whole text skim for gist. And scheme forges is not suitable for the students from A2 to C1, but search reading starts from B1 up to C1. That's why sometimes our instruments, reading instruments, meaning to say our questions actually are not assessing the correct level of proficiency. Yes, it's not valid actually. So you have to understand what types of reading first, okay, before you can use the text in your classroom for formative, summative, right? So any questions so far? You are going to do some hands-on activity after this, then we will discuss, okay, on the samples. Okay, I will show you the samples. Now, can we have a look at the form? Okay, hands-on activity. You can try, um, Mr. Norimi. All right, type this, and then you can find the samples there while answering the questions. Can I give you 7 minutes to complete? Okay. All right. Then you will familiarize yourself with the text. Okay, the types of reading. These are actually the types of reading. Okay, being assessed. Okay, via CFR. Kita panggil CFR classroom activities. Okay, I'm so sorry. Okay, in the Google form, I think there are four questions, right? Okay, so you have to choose which one is which. Is it difficult? No, right? You have to look at the instruction, the rubric as well. You are going to read a magazine article. For example, you are going to read a newspaper article. So which is pitched at the correct CFR level and which is the one, the type of reading that's demanded. The types of reading. Okay, this one. You may discuss. Okay. Among six of you, it's seven. Right. Okay. Local focuses on sentences or paragraph level. Global, the whole text. And then you have to look at the sentence structure, whether it's A to up to C1, probably. Okay. Okay. Have you responded? Have you sent your answers? Okay. Right. Okay. Now let us look at the responses. Hmm. So the first one, everyone answers it correctly because it is pitched at CFR A2 level. Okay, good. Now let us look at the second one. Hmm, What type of reading is demanded? Careful reading global. Correct. All of you got it 100% correct. Okay. It's good actually. Yes. Too good to be true actually. Okay, based on this, okay, third one, the answer is careful reading global. Now let's look at the third one. Third one. This is the third one, right? Yes. Okay, yes, correct. This is between text. The answer is careful reading global. Okay. This is actually pitched at CFR B2 level. Okay. Responses. Okay. One, the last one, the answer is expeditious reading local. You have to skim, you have to scan, you have to search reading in order for you to derive to the answers, to comprehend the text. Actually, this one, this is actually pitched at CFR C1 level. The type of questions, text, the types of reading. This one is supposed to be C1. All right. Okay. Any questions so far before we proceed to the second key point? All right. Last part. The cognitive validity. Okay. I wouldn't say that it is not suitable. Yep. I understand. Yep. It caters that level. It's actually multi-level item also, right? Okay. We do have that population in SPM, so we have to have, yes. Mm, I wouldn't say that invalid, but probably in terms of its sentence structure, probably. Okay, in terms of its grammatical structure, lexis, number of words, these are all will explain later. Probably it caters that group of students. Okay, now let us go back to the harder the better is an old school of thought. Actually, it is supposed to be pitched at the correct level. Questions are supposed to be at the correct level. Not the more difficult it is, the better it is. No. All right. Okay. Now let us proceed to the second one, cognitive processing. Okay. Eh, okay. So the second point under cognitive validity. All right. You can take a picture of this. As you can see there are how many items? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, right? So the first one, word recognition, meaning to say here, it is like, okay, I have to look at my notes as well. Okay, it's like recognizing your friend's face in the crowd. That's what it can be analogized of. All right. Okay. Then lexical access, meaning to say like you find a book in the library, you have to look for the book in the library and the content of it. In simple words, meaning to say lexical access means vocabulary. All right. How about passing? Passing, breaking components into parts. All right. Establishing propositional meaning. Okay. Meaning that you picking out the most important information in the text. Right. Inferencing. I guess all of us know really well inferencing not in the text, but you can deduce. All right. But from the content of the text, you can deduce on your own. All right. Okay. Building a mental model like you read and then you make a movie about it. That is in simpler words. All right. Creating a text level structure. As you can see there, from CFR A2, inferencing. Sometimes, that's why I put it in a bracket. Sometimes it can be tested. Okay, building a mental model as well. However, I would like to advise that for A2, you just up to establishing positional meaning should be enough. Okay, so B1, B2, although it's quite similar, however, probably the text topic, the number of words used, the sentence structures are different, like the one that our friends mentioned just now. Okay, C1, okay, C1 covers all, right? Do you have any questions with regard to cognitive processing? So in order for you to give a reading test for your students, you have to have these in mind. The cognitive processing involved with regard to the text that you're going to use and also items. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Yep. In one classroom, it can be multi-level as well, right? Mm-mm. Yep, yep, yep. Mm. So you have to have this. For example, in your classroom, probably most of them is B1, but still you have a small population of A2. Yeah, maybe not even A2. Maybe not even A1 plus. Something. Yeah, I understand that. Okay. Yes, that's a challenges. Make it challenges. Okay. Now let us look at the second hands-on activity. You can answer more than one bullet, if I'm not mistaken. The answers sometimes require more than one answer. All right. Enjoy. But thank you to be here. Thank you for being here. Okay, all right. Because the title is so sophisticated, I think people are quite afraid to come to this workshop, right? However, I believe the input is valuable. Hmm? A slides before, baiklah bos. Sekejap. Okay, this one. Component one. Three. Uh, this is the second one. Under cognitive validity. We are not focusing on other validities. Instrument. Deconstructive, yes. I break them into parts, three parts. That's the meaning of deconstructive. Correct. Mm. Parsing means breaking information into small categories. In simple words. Yeah. Mm. Okay, members of the floor, have you done with questions? Now let us discuss together. Now, where is it? Where's the Google form? Oh, yeah. Cognitive processing. Okay, for question one, this is which part of CFR level that you can pitch at? Which one? This is okay suitable to be used for C1 level. Okay, and what are the cognitive processing involved? Actually, there are two answers to this. The first one would be establishing propositional meaning and also inferencing. Okay, now the second one. This is actually pitched at CFR. What level? C1 just now, already done. A2, you sure? A2, this one actually. Okay, this one is A2. And then this one would be B1. This one is actually B2. Okay, and what are the cognitive processing of parsing and also establishing propositional meaning. Okay, then this one is pitched at CFR A2 level. Okay, A2 level would be word recognition, lexical access, and also parsing in order for them to answer this type of fill in the blank question. All right. Then the last one, B1, okay, establishing propositional parsing and lexical access. These are the type of instrument, reading instrument that you may use in your classroom. Okay, any questions so far? No, okay, no question, no question. Okay, right. Uh, uh, not yet. Not yet. Nah. I couldn't find last night. Mm. Building mental model probably and overall building mental model under which one? Yep. Building mental model. From the text, you probably can have some prediction. Last paragraph, for example, if X happens, what will happen to Y? Then building a mental model from the previous paragraphs that you have read. Meaning to say, building a new mental model that is related to the previous paragraphs. Little hot questions, correct. N- Why can't? No problem. As long as it is touch on apa tadi? Building a mental model. Mm. Usually the difficult one should be the last one. Progressive, right? Uh, And then one thing that you should remember as teachers, not just test developers, when you want to test CFR A2 level students, for example, the text is already pitched at CFR A2. Your questions, ideally, in principle of testing, should be not more than A1 words. Ideally. However, if you can use A2 words, okay, with regard to the text of CFR A2 just now, should be okay. But do not use words that are higher than the text itself. You want to test A2? So the words used in the questions in the items should be lower or at the same level. Then, in principle of testing, you have minimized what we call as construct irrelevance variance. Okay, you may have to look about it later on your own. Okay, now let us go to the third point, text complexity. Okay, so text complexity, the third one of apa tadi, cognitive validity. The third one, overall number of words and times. As you can see there, the least would be CFR82. Okay, and then the highest would be 3,000 words. Overall number of words here means the total number of words used in the question paper. For example, from part one, you have 4 parts, for example. For part one plus until part four. That's the meaning of overall number of words used. Uh, ideally. Yeah. Okay. Then 35 items, as you can see, number of items, and then the minutes. This is a golden practice from Cambridge ESOL Main Suite examinations. Okay, covered this. Then like this. Okay, I think this is okay, it's quite useful for you. Like this, the text. Okay, A2. As you can see, high frequency words of native speakers. Where can you check this level, CFR level, ladies and gentlemen? Where? You can check it at dictionary, Cambridge Dictionary. Dia ada tahu A2, B1, B2. Sometimes the word can be E2 and then up to B2. Okay, depending on its category. Then B1, general vocabulary, sufficient for most topics in everyday life. B2, good range of vocabulary. Topics are addressed in detail with precision. I will not cover the topics today because we do not have enough time. So I will cover only cognitive validity in terms of text complexity. So C1, broad range of vocabulary. Here it includes idiomatic expressions, apa lagi? Colloquialism, and language of opinion, persuasion, and ideas. So if your students are not up to C1 level, do not use such language in the text. Okay. So grammatical structure. A2 mostly simple sentences. Then for B1 plus relative other subordinate clauses. Then B2 simple to complex. C1 many complex, frequent use of models, some use of ellipsis, referencing, and use of synonymy. So if your students are not able to be pitched at C1, do not use that. Use the simple and complex sentence structure. Please avoid ellipses, the one that use frequent use of model, and so forth. All right. So now let us look at how technology can assist you. But you have to pay. But for us, okay, we have subscribed yearly subscription of this. Okay. So in order for you to gauge the level, I will show you how. Okay, the name of the website is Text Inspector. Okay, textinspector.com. You can use to analyze reading text, writing text, listening as well. All right. So first you log in. If you do not have any account, it's only limited to 250 words per document. But if you have an account, okay, you can analyze up to 13,000, if I'm not mistaken, 13,000 words. Okay. Yeah, 13,000 words per document. Okay, first, you look for the text. Sometimes your text pitch does not pitch correctly, kan? Okay, mana kita nak ambil ni? Text apa kita nak ambil? Kita ambil A2 ya. Try A2 question paper. Okay, which one? Which one? Okay, this one simple. Okay, this one. So you found an article from a website, for example. Then you copy. Okay, you go back to the text inspector just now. You paste. Then mode of text. You choose. Okay. Is it used for reading, writing, or listening? Okay. Exclude all digits. If you think that the digits in the text is important, do not exclude. But if you don't think, then just go with it. Analyze. How many words? 260 words. 261 words. Okay. Then you straight away go to scorecard. Scorecard will determine the difficulty level of your text. So Cambridge Pen paper, it is pitched at A2 level and it is correctly pitched at A2 plus. The same goes to our papers at MPM. Okay. You do not have to look at the other readability index. No need. You just need the CFR level punya reporting. Okay. Any questions? So this might be helpful, okay, for you to use this website in your classroom. Textinspector.com. Gitu. Okay, any questions before I end our workshop? Okay, any questions? Any questions? No. Okay. If you have any questions, you can. Right. Okay. Thank you.
Testing. Thank you, Dr. Zufri, for such an enlightening session. Okay, so is there any question from the floor? No. Okay, thank you. All right, so okay, thank you all for your active participation in this session. It was a very interesting session with our speaker today. Your questions have added depth to our discussion. Remember that the conversation continue during our networking breaks and also throughout the conference. Okay. So before we end this session, we would like to show our appreciation to Dr. Zulfi. So we would like to present a certificate to acknowledge his sharing with us today. Right. So this brings us to the end of the parallel session. Okay. So the next session will start right after this, which is at 12:15. So just stay with me and just wait for a while and we will begin in the next session. Okay. Thank you.